Good morning. Uh, I'm Dr. Nalini Avinash Wagmare, working as an assistant professor in Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth. Today's our topic is Mahatma Gandhi. While we are studying the Indian National Congress, at that time, the third point related to Gandhian era. So everyone knows that Mahatma Gandhi's role in the Indian national movement. Actually, while I am study or explaining this one, Mahatma Gandhi's contribution, even his Gandhiji's books, writings, philosophy, life sketch, his role in Africa, his role in Indian national movement, his role uh, in various field, in various angle. Studying is in a one covering in a one lecture is very difficult. So I only highlighted here in this lecture only briefly some points I am going to explain in this lecture. So what we have to study in this topic is role of Mahatma Gandhi in Indian national movement and his philosophy, that is Satyagraha and non-violence, his role in Indian national movement, Khilafat movement, as well as non-cooperation movement, civil disobedient movement, as well as Gandhi and Irvin Pact, Gandhi and Ambedkar's, that is Pune Karar or Pune Pact, Quit India movement, and how under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, the mass movement took place in India and get the independence from the British rule, and how, as we all know, that Mahatma Gandhi is called as a father of a nation, and some estimate of Mahatma Gandhi, and some reference books, mentioned in this lecture. So Mahatma Gandhi is all we know that epoch maker of modern India. No other leader has created a greater impact than him in the history of modern India. The period from the year 1920 to the year of 1947 is virtually known as the Gandhian era or Gandhian movement, Gandhi period. And this provided clear understanding how completely he had dominated the Indian political scene, the Indian public mind. That is why he has been held as the father of a nation. Then Gandhi's brief life sketch mentioned here how when he was born 2nd October 1869, Porbandar in Gujarat. Then his father was a Diwan of Rajkot, and his early degrees later on establishment of Sambarmati Ashram at Ahmedabad in 1990. Then Gandhi's other principles also, as well as the passing Gandhi's role in the Indian national movement. As well in 1970, Gandhi successfully intervened on behalf of the peasants of Champaranya, and in 1918, in the dispute between the workers and mill workers of owners of Ahmedabad, the passing of Revenue Act 1919 brought Gandhi to the forefront of the national politics, and he gradually became and remained undisputed leader of the Congress till he has stood dead on 13 January 1948 by Nathuram Godse. In April 1990, Gandhi launched the Satyagraha movement against the Revenue Act, and in 1920, after joining hands with the leaders of the movement, started the non-cooperation movement. Then again, how the movement was suspended after the incident of Chauri Chaura incident and failed to achieve the anything. But for the first time, the Congress movement emerged as a mass movement of the Indian people. Then later on in 1930, Gandhi started the civil disobedience movement and prepared salt against the law of the government. Salt Satyagraha started. Then in 1931, Gandhi-Irvin Pact was signed and the movement was suspended but was revived in 1932 after the second round table conference. Then civil disobedience was finally suspended in 1933 without gaining any tangible results. Then later on, Gandhi decided to start the Quit India movement. We all know that it started and its goal is that freedom, as well as now they wanted to freedom from the Britishers in any condition. And that time Gandhiji given a slogan that do or die. As well, Gandhi made serious efforts for Hindu-Muslim unity and emancipation of women and untouchables, emphasized cottage industry, use of Swadeshi goods, particularly khadi cloth, advocated decentralization, proponent the Wardha scheme of education, finally tried to achieve that what they described as a Ram Rajya. Gandhi always wanted to establish the Ram Rajya in India. Many ideas of Gandhi have been discredited now, and his success concerning India independence has been questioned yet. His contribution towards independence has been unique because he made the national movement a mass movement of the people. When we study the democracy or mass movement or national movement, only in the world that time we only find the Gandhi period only most of the people participated, as well as he helped in building up several leaders of national leaders in further also. The special characteristic of Gandhi's leadership was that he had translated the struggle for freedom into the movement of the common people in general in India. Means only limited people, leaders only participated. That was not happen in the time of the Gandhi. In Gandhi's time, most of the common people, women, peasants, everyone participate and get the freedom from the Britishers. That is not an easy job. So Gandhi had earned full faith of the common ordinary Indian people. He initiated the Indian people with a new technique of armless resistance and brought them associated with the freedom movement. And because of the involvement of common people of the whole country, the freedom movement became sufficiently powerful to challenge the mighty British Empire. The six, while we studying the Gandhi, what is the meaning of Gandhi's six constituents? Words while we study. The first G stand for generosity, A for affection, N for non-violence, D for dedication, H for honesty, I for integration. These six lessons will bring down man made offenses that segregates us. The test lies in practicing these virtues. It will require on our part steadfastness, self-defense, self-discipline, patience, and faith. Then while Indian national movement started, we have to study the Khilafat movement, non-cooperation, civil disobedience movement. Gandhi also first time came forward to take the help, sided with this, even help of, take the help of the Muslim community, solve their problems at that time. So that time Gandhi also argued that we also start the Congress decide to cooperate with this Khilafat movement. What was the Khilafat movement? Then the Muslim formed a Khilafat committee under the leadership of Maulana Muhammad Ali, Maulana Shaukat Ali, Maulana Azad, Hakim Azmal Khan, and Arsat Mohani after the First World War, with the view to organizing a countrywide agitation if the position of the Khalifa, the Sultan of Turkey and religious head of the Muslim all over the world, was undermined by the victorious Britain. The British wanted to remove that one. At that time, in 1920, Britain decided to abolish the title of Khalifa. The Khilafat committee gave the call of non-cooperation movement, hence called the Khilafat movement. So the Gandhi and the Congress decided to cooperate with this movement, and therefore demands of Khilafat committee and the Congress were merged and were put up before the government. Gandhi asked the government to express regret on the happening in Punjab, adopt a lenient attitude towards Turkey, and set in motion a new scheme of reforms which would take India nearest to its goal, Swaraj. When the government paid no attention towards these demands, Gandhiji started the non-cooperation movement in 1921. Then the non-cooperation movement started. Besides non-cooperation with the government, Gandhi asked the people to establish private schools, colleges, arbitration courts, popularize Swadeshi goods, and work for Hindu-Muslim unity, removal of untouchability, and emancipation of women. The movement continued with unabated zeal during the years of 1921 and 22, with perfect non-violence, and many distinguished persons joined it. In February 1992, Gandhi set an ultimatum to the government to start no tax campaign in Bardoli Taluka in Gujarat. The government took all possible repressive measures to suppress the movement. Means British government now tasked that to suppress this Gandhian movement. Then Gandhi withdrew the movement in February 1922 after the violent incident took place in Chauri Chora in Gorakhpur, where an unfuriated mob burned down Thana, resulting in the death of 22 policemen. So here the violence took place. So Gandhiji stopped this movement. The capture of power by Mustafa Kemal Pasha in Turkey, the abolition of Khilafat, and the declaration Turkey as a secular republic took away the relevance of Khilafat movement. Now that stopped there. But thus the Khilafat movement failed to serve any purpose in India, but succeed in foreign country. Then later on, the Jallianwala Bagh incident took place in 1990. Mr. Dyer killed Indians when all gathered in Bagh. Massacre took place. Gandhi and other leaders fought against this one because Mr. Dyer used his whole power and killed so many community people, those who united in Jallianwala Bagh at that time. Then again, we study the non-cooperation movement, dissatisfaction, what were the reasons the non-cooperation movement, dissatisfaction with the Act of 1990, then Revolut Act of 1990, Jallianwala Bagh tragedy, Khilafat movement. Then in detail, non-cooperation, not to cooperate with the government, how it is progress, then why it is suspense of government. Then later on, we have to study the civil disobedient movement. So whenever any movement we are studying, maybe Khilafat, maybe non-cooperation movement, or civil disobedient movement, or Quit India movement, keep in your mind the three things we have to remember. Why, what were the cause to this movement started, how the course of this movement, and what is the consequences of this movement, and who are participated, and which incident took place, and what government taken steps, and what our Indian national leaders taken steps to save the life of the people, and how it is spread one place to other places. So these all point we have to study in detail, but here only highlight I am mentioning that one. Here also in civil disobedient movement, the India's first civil disobedient movement was launched by the Mahatma Gandhi to protest against the injustice meted out to the tenant farmers in Champaran district of Bihar. It is widely regarded as the place where Gandhi made his first experiment in Satyagraha and then replicated them elsewhere. So this is the photo of Gandhi March and Civil Disobedience Movement 1930-31. On the historic day of the 12th March 1913, Gandhi inaugurated the Civil Disobedience Movement by conducting the historic Dandi Salt March, where he broke the salt laws imposed by the British government. You know that the salt is very important for everyone's life, and Britishers put more taxes on it. How will the common people use that one? So there's all the things considered that time. They manually made salt on the shores of Dandi. Dandi Salt March had an immense impact of the entire nation. So here Gandhi taken the help of, started Salt Satyagraha. All the common people know of that one, and they participated in this movement and made success one. Then later on, 1942, the Quit India movement. There are many causes to start this movement also. When Cripps mission failed, even the Congress under the guidance of Gandhi gave a call to Quit India movement and asked the British to transfer power to the Indian hands of the Indians. Now, failure of this civil disobedience movement, non-cooperation movement, now Gandhi decided that we do or die. It's in our hands. Now, Quit India movement starting. The government took repressive measures to suppress the movement. Although Gandhi and other leaders of Congress were impressed on 9th August and the people were left without leadership at that time, also the movement turned violent and succeeded in uprooting the administration at certain places like UP. The open movement was crushed by the government within 2 months, though the underground movement persisted in the beginning of 1943. The movement was spearheaded mostly by the students, the peasants, and the members of the lower middle class, while the underground movement was largely organized by the leaders of socialist party like Jay Prakash Narayan, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, and Mrs. Arun Asaf Ali. The Muslim League opposed the movement, and the Communist Party also demanded its withdrawal when Russia joined the allies in the war. The movement failed because of lack of cooperation among the people, lack of proper organization, absence of clear-cut program, and lack of widespread appeal also. The movement did not remain non-violent, and it was not led by Gandhi and the Congress. It was a part of the revolutionary movement also. So the movement failed, yet within the freedom struggle began in right earnest. It was carried on beyond the frontiers of Indian national Congress, and its leader was later on the Subhash Chandra Bose also. So again, the government repressive measures, the point mentioned, it was failed later on. Then we study the what was the, because in the Indian national movement as well as the in Gandhian time, most of the women also participate in every movement which started by Gandhi. So Gandhi's view on women is very important. So here the liberating women, his main idea is in the Satyagraha movement. Gandhi against the child marriage for the system, also against the Devdasi system. His two newspaper, the Young India and Harijana Desha Sevikas, women also participated in Dandi March. Gandhi allowed women to participate in Indian National Congress. So for the upliftment of Dalit, Gandhi also brought the established the Sarvajanika Harijan Sevak Sangha. It opposed the untouchability. It gave facilities for the Dalits, open schools, wells, roads, occupational training centers, etc. Even through this Harijan Sevak Sangh, Gandhi also tried to upliftment of the untouchables and Dalits. And Gandhi not only given the role, we not a second only for national movement, he also given the so many points which for establishing of Ram Rajya, for build a good nation, for overall personality of the Indian citizens. He given the internal strength, that is Atma Balam. His ideal society was one where there was a minimum use of power and machines so that all could get power and goods. Information technology is essential, but let us use it with minimum damage to Gandhi's aim at Ram Rajya, which means freedom for man from lapses, evils, and imperfection. This concept of freedom is essential not only for Indians but for the people all over the world. So we have to think of Gandhian society based on culture and heritage, love of mankind, simple living, right means, production by the masses, so that everyone is happy. Gandhi's truth was about the absolute liberation of the soul. Swaraj was incomplete to him as long as other human beings anywhere were bereft of it. The force of life, he said, is the same as the force of soul or truth. Today, more than ever, we need Gandhi's truth for the survival of the earth and the survival of the 21st century. See, Atma Bala is very, very important for the overall development of the people. If people develop, society develops, automatically nation develop. So Gandhi wanted to give the inner strength to the everyone. For that purpose, they have to practice some good things in their life. Then Gandhi's concept of Ram Rajya, one asked to clarify his concept Ram Rajya, he said the day when beautiful women checked in precious ornaments is able to walk alone in a dead of night through a forest from one village to another, he would consider that Ram Rajya had been usurped in. Means no looting, no killing, no murder, and women in the night time she carrying jewelry, that much of safety, security, protection. Then Gandhi's ideas on village self-sufficiency, khadar, and handicrafts, many continues as showpiece relief in the first enabling plots of industrialization. Urbanization, other features of modernization, they are not likely to extend beyond this role, but the more basic core of Gandhism will forever be a change to not only India but to humanity, that reminding it of the futility of petty political squabbles, power conflict, fanatism, and cowardly violence, untruthfulness, dishonest public and private conduct. Then while we are studying the two Gandhi's philosophy, that is the truth and non-violence, what we say, Satya and Satya, what we call as truth. Mahatma Gandhi had formed faith in truth. He had assumed that Satya, truth, is the highest value of the human life. Satya is God. God is himself the truth. To search for the truth means to search for God. So that is the basic philosophy Gandhi given to the human being. Then another one is ahimsa, non-violence. The meaning of ahimsa means to keep oneself completely away from such action which may harm others physically or mentally. Non-violence is the most effective means to fight against injustice, excess, and untruth. One can conquer ever his enemy by adopting the way of non-violence. Non-violence is not the outward might, it is the internal force. So these two weapons or two philosophy which help us to build a modern nation from that day to till today also. Then again the Satyagraha. Satyagraha means the employment of pure power of one's soul against the injustice, suppression and oppression and exploitation. He had given important place to non-violence and self-suffering in Satyagraha. Kinds of Satyagraha are non-cooperative, Hizarat, disobedience of laws and strikes. A truly Gandhian technique can fight the evils of the corruption, defection, black marketing, or the injustice in economic, industrial, or social life. It can be an effective technique of social change and regeneration where there is no bloodshed, violence, or effort to human dignity. So here the Gandhi also given 13 aspects of Gandhism, which we also find today also Gandhi and Gandhism also started. Gandhi movement, we have studied his role in national movement, but some Gandhi-based philosophies like Ahimsa, Satyagraha, trusteeship, marriage, democracy, socialism, spiritualism, science and technology, education, these all are give us to build our nation more strong. Then how Gandhi's points relevance to modern times. Sarvodaya, which means all-round development of all human beings. To build welfare state, Sarvodaya concept is very necessary. Village Swaraj is to build self-defense and self-rule in village. Use technology only for welfare of society and to provide employment to one and all. That is the main argument of the Gandhiji. Introduce education to all, which helps the overall development of personality. Gandhi's two weapons of truth and non-violence help us to solve many problems arising in modern India. For example, war. The revolutionary weapon of Satyagraha could be used by the exploited millions to secure justice. Satyagraha also helps us to solve many socio-economic, religious, and political problems in India and abroad. Religion and God are necessary to build a good human being and character, as well as morality among the people. Gandhi started political power should be based on truth and ethics. This is more relevant to today. Sarvadharma Samanvaya Swadeshi also helped to build unity, brotherhood, humanity among the people. Gandhi's ethics remind us to stop hatred among ourselves and love each other for the welfare of the society. He is the role model of many of us even today. In conclusion, Gandhi was neither a philosopher nor a socialist. He was indeed a practical idealist. His deeds and words were, however, sociologically relevant and philosophically significant. He was deeply religious, but he was unlike other self-proclaimed men who launched their own brand of religion. Gandhism was not his coinage. It is after his ideas and thoughts scattered in numerous newspapers, articles, letters, notes, and lectures at political gathering and prayer meetings. It is amazing that despite his disapproval of ism to be associated with his name, Gandhi's own life became role model, and his actions had profound influence on the lives of millions of people, not only in this country but throughout the world. So these are the few reference book you can refer while studying the Gandhi movement. So Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi's Virendra Grover book, then Chauhan book Mahatma Gandhi, then V.V. Kulkarni Social Reformers in Maharashtra. So here only briefly I concluded this topic. For you can also refer Satish Chandra book, History of Modern India, V.D. Mahajan book, Modern Indian History. Even the Bipin Chandra book, Freedom Struggle. Bipin Chandra book also, Communalism in India, Modern India book also. You can refer. Even B.R. Nanda's book, Mahatma Gandhi, a biography. Even Gandhi's own articles, books, references you can refer for detailed study of Gandhi. So thank you very much.